The show's called Brand Equity and I'm Sonali Krishna. Now, over the last 3 seasons, the IPL franchises have worked very hard on building fan loyalty for their home teams. But alas, this time round, the story seems to have unfolded differently. Fans seem to be a little confused post the reshuffle of teams and, of course, the grand World Cup win. So does he support his favourite player or does he hoot for his home team? Samriti Grover gets you the story behind this dilemma.
It's a heady cocktail of sports and entertainment, and the 4th season of the Indian Premier League is now in full swing. But the fans seem to be on a sticky wicket, confused and torn between teams. Team loyalty this season has gone for a toss post the reshuffle of players, with most teams sporting a completely new lineup.
Lots of things got changed, and I think IPL was about the combination of the teams and the players that it had within it. So I think before the franchise could stabilize, I think the players have got swapped around, and I think it makes a big difference to the fans and its following.
A number of young players have switched sides, and several top players are no longer associated with teams with which they were synonymous for the last 3 years. In fact, Kings 11 Punjab, Daredevils and Kolkata Knight Riders have gone in for a complete rejig. Yuvraj Singh, who was Kings 11 Punjab's icon player and captained the team in the first 3 IPL seasons, is now leading the Pune Warriors side. Deccan Chargers icon player VVS Lakshman is with Kochi Tuskers. Royal Challengers Bangalore icon player Rahul Dravid now plays for Rajasthan Royals. And key Delhi Daredevils player Gautam Gambhir captains Kolkata Knight Riders. Only 2 teams, Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings, have been able to retain their core players, and that's possibly one of the reasons for their fan connect being extremely strong.
A team like Chennai has retained almost all its players, right? So I think a lot of teams will learn from this. Teams like Delhi have sort of revamped the entire team. A lot of people say that a lot of decisions that have been taken are not purely cricketing decisions, but ultimately, if you want to build team loyalty, you need to retain your core players, right? And loyalty is built only over a period of time. I think teams will learn from what Mumbai and Chennai have done, and when the next auction comes, they will look at retaining players, even if it's at an additional cost.
Though the team owners beg to differ, and are of the opinion that the reshuffle will only make their team stronger, and it's only a matter of time before fans will start associating themselves with their home team rather than the individuals.
I think every franchise will be making their own effort and plans to build the fan base, and when they build the fan base and you have a brand and you're able to communicate what the brand stands for, the philosophy of the organization, I think fans tend to attach themselves to a franchise as opposed to players.
The IPL structure allows, in fact encourages this movement so that the squads are fresh after a certain period. But as I said, ultimately all the franchises have to ensure that the brand becomes stronger and the focus shifts from the players to the brand. It happens in football in Europe and things. There are top players, but at the same time the brands are so strong that the fans adjust and fans identify with the brand as much as the players.
Though experts believe that team owners will have to rethink the strategy of changing the entire lineup, and in future will need a plan that would retain most of their core players in order for fans to follow the team closely. Also, more initiative needs to be taken in terms of conducting activities that will allow the fan to be a part of the entire team experience.
In short term, I think they should have maintained their compositions, at least the players that have poster values, for sure. But in the long term, I think what the teams are not doing is building the franchisee post the IPL 55-60 days of excitement and sort of climax moments. So I think in the short term, it's a mistake they're making. And they're also making a mistake in the long term.
The format of the IPL needs to change, where auction, where all players are available. I don't think that works at all in terms of loyalty. So the BCCI needs to come up with a format where each franchise, it's mandatory to retain X number of players, and then once you have that core number of players, then you go and all the other players go into an auction.
Team loyalty and fan following is bound to suffer when star players migrate from their current teams. And as a fan, it will take some time to get used to the new faces that are playing for their home team this season. Team loyalty is integral for the success of the IPL format, and that is an area team owners will have to focus on in the coming years. Now, Carla Fendi, the co-owner of the designer brand Fendi, was in town, and Brand Equity caught up with her and found out what she has planned for the Indian market and how Fendi is looking to make the most of India's ever-growing luxury segment. Listen in.
Say the word Fendi and three things come to mind: leather, fur and luxury. And given the wealth escalation in India in recent years, consumers are ready to empty their wallets in an attempt to get some satisfaction out of everyone's favorite pastime: retail therapy. But the luxury market in India is relatively new, and brands like Fendi haven't managed to get the kind of returns that they were hoping for when they launched the brand in the country a few years ago.
Fendi came to India early on. It is true that we have faced some difficulties recently, but I see that things are moving forward, and I see a great development, a great potential for Fendi in India. And I also realize that Fendi is loved in India.
Anche che Fendi è molto amato in questo paese.
Fendi, like many luxury goods retailers, predict that their India business will develop relatively slowly compared with their business in other emerging markets such as China. But now, with more than 1.6 million Indian households that spend an average of $9,000 a year on luxury goods, they see that this market will only be growing in the future.
I see a tremendous potential because the Indian seems to be extremely receptive to luxury. They like it. They have also a taste for it, and there is also a great demand, to Western style.
With luxury brands now bombarding the Indian market, and Jimmy Choo and Gucci being the latest entrants to target India as the next hot growth market, it seems that these luxury brands are only going to spend more time and money to figure out how to tap into this ever-growing market.
And with that, we come to an end of this episode of Brand Equity. But I hope you watch the show carefully, as this week on, we're bringing you a brand new contest. So answer the question correctly and you stand to win a prize. The question of the week is, what's the full form of ORM? Option A, Operational Risk Management. Option B, Object Relational Mapping. Option C, Online Reputation Management. And Option D, Object Role Modeling. Type GB space your name space your answer and send it to 58888. The lucky winner will be announced next week. Also, do feel free to write to us at brandequity@etnow.tv or alternatively SMS us at 58888 with your feedback. You can also join our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/brandequity, to catch our episodes online and to be up to speed with all that's happening in the world of brands. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Ciao, ciao.